Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Foraker Realty podcast. I have an amazing guest I've flown out to Texas to see. Julie Woods is here from Texas, from Julie Woods and Associates. So say hi, Julie.
What's up, Brian? This is so surreal. I've been listening to your podcast for months, and now to be a guest, it's such an honor. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so glad that you were listening, and half the stuff I say on there is, stuff we've talked about.
I'm your number one fan, Brian.
Are you?
Yes, just know. I listen to all your podcasts. I share them. I tell everyone else to listen to them. I think they're great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm your number one fan, too.
Yay, us.
I yell at my agents at my brokerage, and I say, Julie wouldn't put up with this.
And how does that make you feel?
I don't know. It's like indirectly, I'm yelling at them a little bit.
Okay.
But so I just want to, my goal is always with this podcast, if we can give someone a couple golden nuggets,
okay,
then I think it's a huge win. Obviously, for those of you listening, if you hear that and you hear something that someone else can benefit from, share it to them. But I think you probably have an awesome story, and I want to try to unpack some of your golden nuggets today.
Hey, that's nice. So I got my real estate license in 2007. And the reason why I got my license is one of my dad's business partners pulled me aside. My family is in the construction and property development business. And his partner said, you know what, we would really like to start a real estate company. We think that you could be good selling. And we think maybe you could make an extra $10,000 a year if you got your license. And my mouth watered at the thought of making an extra $10,000 a year. My husband and I had a little 2-year-old little girl. I was pregnant with our second little girl. And I thought, man, this could really help my family. And so I got my license. My dad and his partner started a real estate brokerage, and I worked for that brokerage for 3 years after that. I got my real estate broker's license 2 years in. At the time in Texas, you could get your broker's license after being licensed as a salesperson for 2 years. So 2 years in, I went ahead and got my broker's license, but I did not have any intention of starting my own company at all whatsoever. But, as, luck would have it, about a year after I got my broker's license, I decided to go out on my own. And, if I could only count on one person, I knew I could count on myself. So I started my own company, and here we are. I started that group, Julie Woods and Associates, in 2010. And so here we are 14 years later, and we've got 2 offices, one in Longview and one in Kilgore, Texas. And we've got a group of about 17 people. So I'm really proud and honored that anybody would want to put their name alongside mine and work with me. And I'm just really blessed to get to work in the area that I grew up in. I grew up in Kilgore with a population of 12,000. Longview has a population of about 82,000. So it's my backyard. I'm homegrown, and it's an honor to get to help and serve people every day in my hometown and hometown area.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, you just answered all the questions I had. So.
Well, hey, it's been good to be here with you today. There you go.
No, I'm just kidding. That's awesome. So you got in 2007.
Yeah.
What was it like selling then?
Okay, so 2007 was a horrible time to get into real estate. That was a recession. It was a huge buyer's market. It was very common for properties to sit on the market 9 and 10 months. That was probably the average days on the market actually in our area. Yeah, it was terrible, but I didn't know any different. And I didn't know what I was doing, but I thought, you know what, I better figure this out. So the first thing I did was I sent a letter. I created a database, and I sent a letter out to everyone that I knew and said, hey, I just got my real estate license, and I'd be honored if you do business with me. And so that worked good. About the first year, I closed about 12 deals. And, so awesome. I went through everybody that I knew and all my family friends. And then it was like, now what? So, then the next year, I think I did about 14 or 15. And then I thought, I really better get this figured out. So I joined a BNI group. Have you ever been in BNI?
Mm-mm.
Business Networking International.
I've went to a couple.
Yeah, it was really great for me. And that was a really great organization for me. And someone associated with BNI said, a lot of BNI people are Buffini people. Have you ever heard of Buffini? And I said, no, what's Buffini? And so I Googled it and I learned about Buffini and Company, which is a real estate coaching company that was wonderful. I was coached by them for 14 years. And they taught me how to grow my business based on referral. And that just really sang to my heart. of taking care of people, treating people the way you would want to be treated, and then asking them to send you business of more people like them. And that was just a great way for me to grow my business, and I just really simplified it there. But that's how it worked out.
So that was in 2008?
Yep.
Wow, I didn't even know that's been
going on that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually got into coaching with Buffini and Company in 2010, so it's been going on longer than that.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So you got in, and was your dad a realtor?
No, my dad was a banker and a builder and a property developer, a developer kind of guy.
Oh, cool. Does he still do that?
Yes, he does.
Oh, awesome. And you're his realtor?
I am his realtor, and it's just a blast working with family.
That's awesome. Yeah, I work with my dad a lot too.
You do?
Yeah.
Do you win when you work with him, or does he win?
Yeah, we argue a little bit, but it's just good. It's when we do stuff, it's for more of a hobby.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we flipped houses and stuff, and
I think it's a blessing to get to work with family.
Yeah,
like it's a blessing. And my brother is also a builder and general contractor, and so
cool.
we do quite a bit of business together, and it's really fun as long as we all stay in our lanes and know who does what.
So his partner a realtor?
No, his partner was a dirt contractor.
So these two just started a real estate brokerage. Neither one of them are a realtor?
That's correct.
Okay.
They had another partner that was a real estate broker, and they said, "Hey, why are we giving all our money to this other brokerage? Why don't we just create our own?"
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I kind of come from an entrepreneurial group.
There you go.
So they created their own, and there you go.
Yeah. So you started this company where no one else was a realtor, really.
Correct.
And that's cool. So you still sold 7 houses or
12. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's great. I mean, especially that was probably one of the worst times to be a realtor.
It was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know it though.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
Right.
You know what? I think people need to remember, even in bad times, there's always people that need to buy and there's always people that need to sell. Mm-hmm. You just need to be top of mind so that you're the one they call when they need the help.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just getting what's needed. All right, well, at that point, obviously you want to try to get buyers, right? If stuff's on the market for 9 months. So just, I guess, shift all your marketing.
That's right. Just focus on the buyers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then, so you did that for a certain amount of time and then decided?
Yeah, I did that for a couple of years, and then I started my own brokerage, and I never had any intention of having any agents work underneath me. But then people started calling me and coming, and so here we are. We're definitely not the biggest in town, but I do think, I'm proud of our group. We have more of a concierge brokerage, and we've won a number of awards of being the #1 brokerage in East Texas for many, many years, and that's just always an honor to me. Yeah,
of course, that's definitely an honor. I mean, what made you want to start getting agents? A couple of them came and you said, you know what, I can help you guys.
It just kind of happened organically, but then as my business grew, I became unable to handle all the business I had myself, and unable to service people with the quality that I wanted to service them. So I personally needed help serving more people. So then I needed to try to find a couple of little me's to help serve some of the clients. And so now I'm proud to say we have quite a few little me's that help serve the clients.
Do you find that it's hard to leverage people? Like for me, it's so difficult. Like my referrals and stuff are
they're
so
your special people.
Yeah.
There's times that it is, but there's also times that I can see it as an opportunity to help someone early in their career in ways that I was never helped. No one ever said, "Hey, Julie, here's a lovely buyer. Would you be willing to help?" No one ever did that for me. Yeah. So that is and it's nice when I can trust the people I'm handing them off to know they're going to do a good job of taking care of these people. And of course, I still stay involved and am able to I may not be the boots on the ground, but I'm there for support and negotiation and conversations and tactics.
Yeah. I agree. I had the same thing, and sometimes I want to try to do everything, and then I realize I'm not helping anybody.
That's right.
So, it's better to play the coach.
Don't you think, too, sometimes when you're trying to do too many things at once, that's whenever I start seeing, well, so-and-so's even doing it better than me. Why don't I just let her go? Yeah. Let her go do it. She does this better than I ever thought about doing. So this is her strength. And so leveraging other people's strengths where I might have a weakness, I think that's what a good leader does.
Yeah, and even putting them in place, and a lot of times seeing that makes them and us better.
That's right.
Yeah. So what's your main focus right now?
Oh goodness. Okay, I have two focuses, and I think they're pretty similar to yours, Brian.
Yeah.
They're listings and recruiting.
Yeah.
So I'm focusing on just helping as many sellers as I can. That's something I really enjoy, and I think I'm pretty good at it. And recruiting, which is adding to my company so that we have more high quality realtors for people to choose from in our marketplace to serve them in a high regard.
What are you doing to get most of your listings right now? Referrals?
So I would say probably 85% of my business comes from referrals from my sphere of influence.
Okay.
So I'm working hard to remind people that I'm there, that I'm a realtor, that I want to sell, and that I want to help people. So that comes in the form of emails, pop buys. I do a lot of pop buys. We host a lot of events. That's one of my favorite marketing tools. Obviously, making phone calls. You cannot be in sales and not make phone calls. Handwritten notes.
So do you have a system for how you do that, or do you just kind of do it as you want?
No, I have a system. So
I'm teeing you up for some of these.
You're teeing me up?
Now.
Yeah, I think you are. Yeah, no, we put a marketing calendar in place every October for the following year.
Okay.
And so we work out exactly what's going to happen the next year, from what kind of gifts we're going to give our clients, why we're going to call them, what emails we're going to send out, what social media posts we're going to do, what events we're going to host, what days off I'm going to take. And then what's so great about it is then you just got to implement it.
Yeah.
So it takes a long time to set it up, but once you get it set up, it's like, now I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And that's so great because you can hand that to an agent that wants to join your company and say, hey, I've spent however many years, this is what you want to do next year for marketing.
You're right. And again, man, what a blessing it would have been had someone handed it to me. My goodness, I had to create it all on my own or mastermind with wonderful people like you from all over the country and take what you're doing and try to rip off and duplicate. But yeah, and every agent with my firm, there's no secrets. It's like, here's what I'm doing, jump on my coattails, do it too.
Yeah.
Send this exact email I just sent, or take this graphic we just created and put slap your picture on it and pretend like it was you that did it. I don't care. I want you to be successful, and if taking this tool will help you, then by all means do it.
Yeah. That's great. I love doing it, and I get so much satisfaction when that works.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's nice whenever you can see something that you've done has helped someone else to get a leg up in this business. Like, that's rewarding.
100%. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because at the end of the day, sometimes you look back and you're like, we might be able to just make money if we just put our head down and just got listings, but you're not helping anybody. It's kind of boring.
There's something satisfying about helping others in this business. And I really enjoy that. I enjoy being a leader and a coach to the agents in my office, and even agents that aren't in my office. I enjoy coaching people along, and I sure enjoy being a coach too, because I still haven't figured it out. My goodness gracious. I'm still learning and growing too.
Yeah. My coach told me the other day, he said, well, you're not a coach. So stop trying to coach everybody. I'm like, okay.
You're like,
I'm trying to help them.
Thanks. I thought I was.
Exactly. So you recently did the 100K in 100 days.
Yeah.
And everyone, you held a class for the Tom Ferry organization on it. So how did you end up, what
was the deal with that?
What's the deal? Yeah.
Okay, so when we were at Tom Ferry's summit, I guess big meeting, if y'all haven't ever been to that, you should totally go. 6,000 realtors here in Dallas in August. And Tom mentioned that he was going to roll out this program called 100K in 100 days, like how to make $100,000 in 100 days, that he and Jimmy Mackin, shout out to Jimmy, who's awesome, had put together. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to check that out because, 2023 was kind of a weird year. We'd come off such a busy time in 2020 through 2022. First half of 2023 was still pretty busy, and then it almost came to a screeching halt. And I thought, what am I going to do to set myself apart? So I just kind of embraced that program. And what it was they gave you specific emails to send out. They gave you specific tactics to employ, one of which was taking advantage of Zillow's ZMAs or Zestimates that they put out. And then you utilize those Zestimates to reach out to people and say, hey, what do you think your house is worth? Here's what Zillow says. So anyway, I did it and made a whole lot of phone calls too, just called and really wasn't paying attention to what anybody else was doing. But my coach with Tom Ferry had me logging everything I was doing. So I logged every week how many calls, emails, texts I sent out, how many listing appointments I went on, how many listings that I took, and how many closings that I had. Anyway, at the end of 100 days, I ended up making $177,000. So I thought that was great, but to be honest, I was a little disappointed because I wanted to make 200,000.
Right.
And so because I thought, if they can make 100K in 100 days, then I can make 200K.
There you go.
But it was it was in Q4. And
right.
Q4 is always the slowest year. And then when interest rates get up to 8.25, it really slowed down. And so, to be honest, when I got to the end of it, I was a little bummed. But then my coach went insane. It was like, are you kidding me? And so I don't know who ended up winning that competition because no one has let me know that yet. But
I don't think it was for someone to win.
Oh, well, I kind of think there is a winner,
really?
and they haven't announced it yet.
Oh, okay.
Because the Tom Ferry organization did reach out to me, and they verified my numbers with a couple of different people and a couple of different stats, and they did ask me to lead a webinar, and that was fun and a real honor. And I think they're going to do something at this year's summit.
Well, you were famous and on the slideshows at the Elite Retreat.
Okay,
so
I was famous for
a
millisecond. A millisecond, yeah. But thank you for recognizing that. And what's funny about that is I don't really know why they made a big deal about it because all I did was read the system they put out and I did it.
Yeah.
Like I did it.
Right.
And I'm like, what's the big whoop? It's not like I created anything. I just...
Yeah. And it's very simple because if you have something like follow-up offers or whatever, then you can schedule all that stuff.
And so that's what I did. I got all the emails. I scheduled them all out to go once a week for 14 weeks. There were texts that you were supposed to send out. I created text templates. Now, I had to hit send and I had to do the setup. But, what else was I going to do?
Why do you think so many people don't do it?
Man, Brian, I wish I could figure it out. Why do you think so many people don't do it?
I don't know. I think sometimes people want to make it hard or come up with it on their own.
Is it that they want to make it hard or they want to make it easy?
Yeah.
Because
I don't know. Maybe
you just got to do it. I sound like a Nike commercial, but just do the work.
That's too easy. You can't get more than copying and pasting the text.
Someone told me about another realtor asking them, but how is Julie doing this? How's she doing it? And they're like, she works her butt off.
Right.
What do you mean? She's the first one at the office. She's the last one to leave. That's how she does it. And they're like, well, does she make her own phone calls? And they're like, what are you talking about? Of course she makes her own phone calls. Of course she, how Julie does it? It's good hard work.
Right.
Not that Julie has it figured out by all means, but.
Well, we're lucky in the sense of if we just work really hard and like you said, we work, even a 10-hour day.
Yeah.
Is most realtors are working between 2 and 5 hours
You're
a
right.
day, or if they work at all.
It's not that hard to outshine others.
Right. And I was talking with my coach the other day. He goes, well, how come you're better than I go, well, I just need them to show up. I can say, dial this number and say this, and you need them to show up, definitely. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I don't want to get off on a tangent with that. So how many, were you directly tracing listings back to your your ZMAs?
Yes, and I wish I could tell you the exact number right now, but I can tell you in those 100 days I took 33 listings.
How many of them would you say, all right, let's say you send out 10 ZMA texts.
Okay.
Which for people listening, it's a screenshot of their Zestimate on Zillow.
Yeah.
That says, I have my opinion of this, what's yours, right?
Yeah, so one thing that's cool about Zillow, even if you go and look up your own personal address, even if it's not on the market right now, Zillow will say, here's what we think it's worth. So the idea behind it is, Zillow is constantly trying to take from us as realtors, so why don't we take a little bit from Zillow? So go look up someone's address, screenshot it, text it to them and say, hey, I was just looking at other houses in your neighborhood. This is what Zillow said, made me think about you. Here's what Zillow says your house is worth. I have my thoughts about it, but what do you think? So I think you were going to ask me how many people responded to that text. Basically 100%. And they were like, I don't know, Julie, what do you think about my house? And I would go, well, let me run some quick comps on it. And I would just do some real down and dirty comps and tell them, and they're like, no way, my house is really worth that much. Because most people have no idea what their house is worth. They have no idea how much their property has appreciated over the last 4 years.
Now, have you seen, since you did those 33 listings, more pour in?
Oh, yeah. My Q1 has been the busiest Q1 in 17 years I've ever had.
That's awesome.
I have never, so that 100K in 100 days definitely has a trailing effect, or has had a trailing effect for me. Now, also, though, it did teach me some new habits things that I wasn't doing before, like let's just say 20 phone calls a day, or sending 10 texts a day, or writing 4 notes a day, or sending 1 email a week even. I was sending emails once a month. Well, when you go from sending monthly emails to weekly emails, yes, your unsubscribe numbers are gonna go up, but also your engagement's gonna go up. So by doing that for 100 days, new habits were created in me that now are just keystone habits in my business.
Is that what you do? Are you still doing that? 20 calls a day?
I'm not making 20 calls a day, but I'm making a lot of calls. I'm still
To your sphere of influence?
Yes, always to my sphere of influence. Now, I do also, and I know you do this as well, I do some Sly broadcast calls. That's a whole other conversation, but I don't count those with my daily calls. That's just kind of bonus calls. And I do those when I'm hosting a mega open house or when I'm dropping a new listing that I think people would really be interested in knowing about.
And are people still getting mad at you?
No, it's kind of nice. People haven't been mad at me lately.
That's
the only
awesome.
thing people have been mad at me about lately is putting door hangers on their doors.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I just had a second one. So that's funny that people are, I'm like, I'm just trying to let you know about a house for sale in your neighborhood. I'm not.
Yeah, what's the big deal?
What's the big whoop? Like, throw it away and move along. I thought most people wanted to know what was selling in their neighborhood. It's good news for them.
I think so.
And then you get to help pick your neighbor if you want. I thought it was a nice thing.
Yeah, I agree. So you got 33 listings that you think you traced directly to that?
Yes. That 33 listings during 100K in 100 days. So I would be curious, if we could go back and look at through the retrospectoscope and see what would life have been like had I not done 100K in 100 days. And I think I would have really been floundering in Q4 without it, because it gave me a very specific plan to follow and something to do every day. Because my colleagues in real estate at the time were going, nothing is happening. They were, and you heard it too, belly aching about interest rates being high. Belly aching about it being the end of the year. It's the holidays. School's in session. No one's doing anything. What am I supposed to do? When are rates going to go down? Why has it come to a screeching halt? And so I was too busy trying to do my daily activities as prescribed by that program to think about fussing.
It's so, you have to. That's so great. Yeah.
I had to just tune it out.
Yeah, that's awesome. I did it. I didn't do the ZMA.
Okay.
I set up my whole database on a drip campaign for the text and the emails. And I think I got like 2 or 3 listings just from that chain of emails.
So that's great. So I think they're getting ready to start it again. Are you going to do it this time?
I think so. I think it would be really good for my whole company to buy in and then
see what happens.
Yeah. Do you ever have your whole company do a thing like that?
I invited them, but only a few said they would, and only I completed it.
Okay. Well, I think you were probably one of a few people on the whole thing that completed it, so you can't beat them up too bad.
I'm not fussing about it. We're all on our own beautiful journey.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you ever have trouble getting agents or to buy in or to get motivation?
Yes.
I know that's, a lot of people who are in that space will say that you can't motivate someone. But I think a good leader can find their why, push them in the right direction, to at least get them going.
Have you read the Ideal Team Player by Pat Lencioni?
No, you told me to read it. But.
Yeah, so it was really good. And so he talks about when you're hiring team players to look for 3 characteristics, and that's whether they're humble, hungry, and smart. And if they are missing one of those, like let's say you have someone that's hungry and humble, but they're not smart. That's not a good combo. And you don't need like intelligence, you need street smart or how to handle people, okay? Or if you have someone that's smart and hungry but lacks humility, that's not good. So they teach you how to look for people with those characteristics by reading that book. And then also they help you as a leader in helping to tune up those skills, humility, to have more humility, to have more hunger, and to get more smart. Now, if you have someone that's not hungry, I don't think you can teach hunger. You either have it or you don't. So that's something that I'm really working on as I'm looking to make some hires. Are they hungry, or are they just saying they're hungry?
Well, everyone says they're hungry.
They all say they are.
Yeah.
But there's other things that you can ask them to try to find that out, like, well, what do you do in your spare time? Or what have been your past production levels? Or tell me about your last job and when your back was against the wall on a project, how did you handle it? There's some other ways that you can identify that.
Or I think the ones who aren't, I think they don't take ownership a lot.
Oh my gosh, yeah, accountability. And you know what else? This sounds silly. But you can kind of tell it by how quickly they respond to you via email or phone call too.
See, I'm bad with my emails. So.
I know, you need to work on that. We're going to work on that.
No, I'm going to. I am.
But like if someone is telling me they really want a job, but then I call them and I don't hear from them for 4 days.
Yeah, let me
You
backpedal.
really don't.
When I was getting my real estate license or looking at brokerages, I would have been answering the email within 5 seconds.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're already gainfully employed, so you're cool with it now.
Right, exactly. If I get an email about a listing, it's getting responded to within 5 minutes.
If I send you an email asking you how to do a redirect or a retargeting ad, you're like, yeah, well, I'll get back to her next week.
Yeah. Well, no, I just want to take time and answer people. That's what it is.
That's good.
So, all right, that was my next question. What qualities do you look for when hiring agents for your brokerage?
Yeah, well, right now I'm looking for hungry, humble, and smart.
Okay. Is there a metric for that or no?
Well, we're also doing the DISC testing. I'm doing DISC assessments.
On recruiting interviews?
Yep.
A normal agent in the interview is interviewing the brokerage. So you kind of.
Well, I think they need it. I think they're interviewing me and I'm interviewing them because I want it to be a good fit.
Yeah. I would bet you that a lot of, like, if I started doing that, a lot of agents would be like, wait, you're trying to impress me to get me to hire them.
They might be.
I don't know.
I don't know if you can fake a DISC profile though.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you say that, hey, I'm not 100% sure would be a good fit, does that make them want it more?
I don't know. Maybe I should start saying that and I'll let you know.
Yeah. Well, I noticed you've had some new hires recently.
Yeah, maybe I'll start playing a little more hard to get.
Yeah.
Thanks. And congratulations on the growth of your company too. I'm super
Thank you.
impressed with you.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I can tell you're working really hard at it.
Do you have, this is off topic.
Okay.
My biggest issue right now is juggling between, I have to get a bunch of listings.
Yeah.
And then, all right, cool, I got a big pipeline. Now I can go focus on recruiting.
Brian, that's such a challenge, isn't it? Trying to find what is it? Someone told me earlier today. The juggle is a struggle.
Yeah, that's
The juggle
true.
is a struggle. So trying to find the right blend between, and also servicing your current clients, because I don't want to work hard to get listings and then not service them properly. So I'm,
right.
I want to make sure I'm
or
serving.
Even agents.
Yeah. I want to make sure I'm serving the agents that work with me. I'm serving the clients that I have that are so kindly trusted me, while trying to get more clients, while trying to get more agents. And so I think part of that blend is getting the right staff people in place to help leverage and to help serve. And then also being laser focused on what is mine to worry about and what is not mine to worry about. So delegating those things that really, nobody cares if I'm the one that called the landscaper about trimming the hedges at my office building. Someone else can handle that task.
Right.
But my clients definitely care if I'm not the one calling and giving them an update on what's going on with their house.
Is that, you're making that call every time?
I'm making that call most of the time, yes.
Yeah.
Or one of my assistants is. But there are certain calls that I feel like my clients, they have hired
appraisal,
me.
Something like
yeah,
that.
they've hired me to be helping them. And so I need to be the one doing that.
Yeah, that's a struggle for me with trying to scale. Thinking about what conversations, do I take and what do they take?
Yes.
And then we have a settlement and we don't hear, you know what I mean?
I've had the same, and I know that you're not married and don't have kids, but like I've had the same juggle as a mom, like from laundry and making my kids birthday cakes and packing their lunches. I'm like, do my kids care who packed the sandwich? Do my kids care who folded the t-shirt in the drawers? My kids don't care about that. They just want to make sure their clothes are clean and ready for them. So, I've been able to leverage a lot of my household chores with outside help on things like that. And, it's been good. My kids, they make their own lunches. They've done that for many, many years, and that's taught them. So it's kind of the same thing, being a working mom and wife of, but can I leverage who's going to go watch them sing in their music program? No, they want mama there.
Right.
So that I'm going to be there for that.
Yeah, you have to.
There's no doubt. So.
Yeah, there's certain things you have to do.
And I want to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Since we're on that topic, are there any systems that you leverage or technology that you've implemented to streamline operations in your brokerage?
Yes. And I'm still learning and growing in this area too. And I have really appreciated your feedback, Brian, and your help, because you're kind of the master at this, as you know.
Oh, thank you.
You are. You're so good.
I feel like
at
I'm not. And it's funny when you tell me I'm a systems person.
You are. Yeah, I don't know. It impresses me. But yeah, so, our tech stack includes, Canva, ChatGPT, Lone Wolf with Zip Forms, Follow Up Boss. I'm just obsessed with Follow Up Boss, Zapier. And, I'm even using some Google Forms, Jot Forms for different things. And we also use Trainual. I don't think you use Trainual, but Trainual has been really excellent.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, Trainual has been a really great tool for training. It's like an online training manual. We've customized it and created it just for our systems. And I think that's been really helpful to the agents in our office to be able to go back and they can watch it at any point in time, like how to negotiate an inspection or how to complete a contract or how to have this conversation. And we have a lot of scripting in there as well. And it's a constant work in progress, but I'm proud of it. I'm proud of what we have set up. It's something I wish that I would have had, however 17 years ago when I got started. I had to go to the school of hard knocks. It would have been nice to have had a training. But we also have a Real Geeks website that I'm really impressed with, and the way that interfaces with our CRM, which is Follow Up Boss. We do a lot of interfacing with our Follow Up Boss that's been legit.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Follow Up Boss is great. A lot of people use it. I used to use it, but we switched. And yeah, I love your website. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I sent it to my video guy and said I want to do that.
You did?
The homepage, yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
It shows your culture really well, I think, when you go there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What are you using Zapier for?
Oh my gosh, Zapier is so cool. Well, to connect Google Forms with Follow Up Boss.
Okay.
Lately we've been using, you're going to think this is so elementary, but I'm impressed with myself. a QR code to a Google form to Zapier to Follow Up Boss.
Wow. Just to sign an open house or something like that?
Well, or like for even a form for our agents to fill out. What's your favorite? We have them all fill out when they join, like, what's your favorite Sonic drink? Where do you like to go eat? What's your favorite travel? Who's your spouse? What are your kids' names? They scan it, fill it out, it goes into a master spreadsheet.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's been pretty cool. Also, we do monthly check-ins with our agents, like, what's working well, what needs to improve, how can we serve you? They fill it out on a Google form, goes to a Google Sheet, goes to Zapier, goes to Follow Up Boss.
Why are you putting that? You have them as a contact in Follow Up Boss?
Yes, I do. I do have agents in my Follow Up Boss as well.
Okay, cool.
I have a strategy behind it, but there's a reason.
Okay, I'm with you.
Okay.
Next question. What advice would you give to an agent who wants to move from completing 5 to 10 deals to like maybe 10 to 20 deals?
Okay, I would ask a few questions. Like, number one, do you have a CRM? I have found in my interviews lately, like, these realtors don't have a CRM. I'm like, how are you surviving without a CRM? Or even, they don't even have an Excel spreadsheet with okay, so do you have a CRM? What is it that you're using? How do you have it broken down? Do you have it subcategorized? I know that you and I both have our databases broken down 100 different ways.
Right.
And we can do that at any point in time to send out. It's really, really very, very cool and very strategic. So that would be my first question. I would ask them, how do you send out emails? How often are you sending out emails? Do you make calls? How many calls are you making? If you're closing 5 to 10 deals, to get you from 10 deals to 20 deals, that's a snap. I could do that in my sleep.
Right, that's easy.
That's piece of cake. Really, even going 20 to 40 deals is a piece of cake. Going 40 to 80 is a little bit harder, but it's wash, rinse, and repeat. There are certain systems in place. So number one key to me is you need to have a broker that's a leader that cares about you and has done it themselves. I do not understand why people will sign up with a broker who at the height of their career closed 15 deals a year. Why would you think that they can help you do better than that? Because that's going to be your cap. So I would be looking to someone who's killing it or did kill it at one point in time and who has an excellent reputation. I would be looking for who has awesome Google reviews. Google does not lie. And, it
you have an unfair advantage.
It's
not I'm not saying it's an unfair, but you have more than a lot more than me.
We have about 475 5-star Google reviews.
That's insane.
It is insane. On one profile, I think we have about 70 on another. We have 2 profiles. So, and I'm really proud of that, but there's a reason why we have them and it works. And people should pay attention to that. Like if you're looking to align with a brokerage and they only have 4 or 5-star Google reviews, how do you think you're going to get business? Like, we get a lot of business off Google, and that business is sent out and dispersed through the agents in our office. So why wouldn't you want to align with someone who is well thought of in your community? So I would be asking them about that. I would ask them how many calls. I would ask them what kind of scripting are you using? Are you doing any scripting coaching? Are you doing any role playing in your office? What is your marketing strategy? Have you ever done an economic business model for your business? That also, when I'm doing these and asking people in the interview, they've never done that. And we sit down and do that annually with our agents. And then hold them accountable to it if that's what they want. Like if you're telling me you want to make $100,000 a year, I can tell you exactly how to get there. But it's up to you to do it. But I can give you every tool, trick, tech stack. We have everything so that you can do that. But you have to do it.
Right.
And some people say they want one thing and then they really don't want to put the work in to get it. And that's okay. That's fine. Again, we're all on our own beautiful journey. But if that's what you want, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt I can get you there. I've done it many, many times.
Yeah. And I think a lot of times, I think it's easy to be comfortable at 10 deals in real estate for a lot of people who are, the medium salary around me is like probably like 5 deals.
Yeah.
What the commission would be.
Yeah, the average sales in my market is 4 deals a year. And that blows my mind too, because I'm thinking, if you're a seller or you're a buyer, do you want someone who does this 4 times a year or 100 times a year?
Right.
There's a big difference in the way those agents operate.
Right, 100%. Yeah. And even a brokerage, same deal. I think that's one of the best things. That's one of my biggest value propositions is I'm producing and I'm running the brokerage. So I can show you every Monday, here's what we're seeing about buyer agency last week, or over the weekend. And it's awesome. So
yeah, I mean, you produce a lot, Brian. I mean, you have a lot on your shoulders. You sell a
Thank
lot,
you.
you lead
Yeah.
a lot, you're recruiting a lot. I mean, you have multiple offices, but yet you're pulling it all off. And so for you to be selling that much and still have all those other things on your shoulders, it's impressive. If you didn't have all those things on your shoulders, you'd probably be selling triple. But
I think so.
I know that you have a heart for helping other people in this industry, and it's admirable.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. For me, I get obsessed with like so many agents. I looked up an area we were going to put a new office. In the whole county, there were 800 agents. Like 450 of them had only done 1 deal in the last 365 days. Another 200 of them have done 2 deals. So
Oh my gosh.
there was only 10 of them who have done more than 20 in the whole county in the last year. And I'm like, this is insane, So I feel like we both have an opportunity to help these people to where at least like, hey, if you want to be a real estate agent, you can come here and do it if you're going to try to do it. So,
well, I feel like with what you've set up at your brokerage and what I'm set up at mine, you're set up for success there.
yeah, it's hard not to do
It'd
it.
be hard not to succeed.
You're getting yelled at by you or me for not doing something if you're not doing
encouraged, supported, loved,
Yeah, you're getting loved by Julie if you're not doing it.
big time loved.
What are the main setbacks you've observed for agents at different stages of their career? Like, how do you address them when you're training them?
They don't make their phone calls. Call.
It's that easy.
That's the number one thing is make your phone calls. And,
How many
and
do you recommend they make a day?
It depends on where you are. If you're just getting started, you need to make 20 calls a day. And it's not to strangers, and it's to people that already know you and love you and trust you and care about you. And you say, here's how the call goes. Okay, let's role play it right now.
Okay.
Hey, Brian, this is Julie over at Julie Woods and Associates. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, Julie?
Hey, I'm good. I just was thinking about you, and I haven't talked to you in a while. How are things going?
Everything's great. We love the house. I'm so glad you were able to get us in here.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I really wasn't calling you to hear about your house. I was calling to hear about you.
Well, thanks for calling. How have you been?
Hey, I've been good. Did I see that you just got back from a trip somewhere?
Yes, I did. I was in the Bahamas.
How was it?
It was great.
Cool. Would you
Good to get
recommend
away.
it?
Yes, of course.
Awesome. I'm hoping to go on a trip this summer too. I'm not sure if I'll be able to pull it off. I've been working too much.
I know. You're busy.
I am, but I'm never too busy for your referrals, Brian.
Wow. You tell them that?
Yes. Not really quite that cheesy, but sometimes
That's
if
funny.
I do, we bust out laughing. Then they're
Right.
like, oh, we know. But it's not like, what is scary about making that phone call?
Right.
I'm just like, I saw on Facebook you went to the Bahamas. Cool. Where'd you stay?
Right.
Like, what's the big whoop?
Right.
And then you
You're
were
just making friends.
I'm just being friendly. And
Right.
then you know what? It always rolls around to, how's work going? I see, just like you did. I see you're busy. I am busy. I love it. I'm so happy to be busy. I'm honored to be busy. I'm blessed to be busy. But I'm not too busy for you. If you got
Right.
something, you call me. Or if you know someone looking, please keep me in mind.
I have an issue with that.
What's your issue?
My friends, not my friends, but a lot of people are like, hey, I know you're extremely busy.
Yeah.
I get that call, and I wonder how many people were like, oh, we didn't want to bother him
I
with
get
this
that too.
sale.
But do you know what? I always spin it, or I try to spin it and say, I am busy thanks to people like you.
Okay. And then,
Or I'm never too busy for work, or you can't believe everything you see on Facebook. Trust me. I got mouths to feed. It's expensive. I got expensive mouths to feed. I always say, make a
Let 'em
joke
know.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, these kids, I got Elle at Texas A&M, and that girl's not cheap. And they're like, ah, ha, 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 ha.
Right.
So, but I do get that too, because I am busy and I want to be busy, and I love being busy. So I try to tell them that too. I love being busy.
what would you do? This is kind of an off the wall question,
Ooh.
but what if you got like, would you be able to handle another, could you handle 60 listings in a quarter? Or in a
Yeah.
month or whatever you
Yes.
did in your last 100 days?
Yeah. So far this year, we've just finished our 4th month of the year, and I've taken 30 listings.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I have 32 listings right now on my actively listed.
I was getting to, would there be a point where you were too busy where you were like, but you
Let
would
me
just
tell you
start
something.
passing
I
stuff?
will never, ever be too busy to take a listing.
So yeah, I'm right there with you.
I never
That's the
met a
answer was
listing I
looking
didn't
for.
love. Never met a listing I didn't love. I would
I
hire.
remember I was quoting you on that.
You were?
Yeah. To Kate.
You were? That about never met a listing I didn't love?
Yeah.
Have you ever met a listing you didn't
No.
love? See?
I have some ugly ones too.
I had too. My cheapest one, I sold an $11,000 house early in my career. It's the best one.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, let's stay on topic.
Okay.
Could you share so we know that their biggest answer and their setback is they're not calling.
Uh-huh.
What is an example for maybe someone in your position or an agent in that position now listening that you've tried to get them out of that?
Okay. So you know what I would do to try to get them out of that? I would remind them of their why. What is your why?
Yeah.
And what is your goal? And so we would go back to their goal for the year. Let's say they wanted to make $100,000 a year. When I do an economic business plan with my agents, I don't like it when people say my agents, with the agents that I work with, we sit down and we go over, okay, if I want to make $100,000 a year, that means I need to make $9,000 a month. If I make $9,000 a month, what's my average closing in my market? Okay, it's going to be about $7,000. Okay, so that means you need to do 1.5 closings a month. What is it going to take to get 1.5 closings a month? How many calls, emails, notes, pop buys, events, and then I break it down to what that's going to take a month of touches. Usually, it takes 600 touches a month to hit that number. That's what it is in our market.
For 100,000?
So if you need 600 touches, okay, if you make 20 phone calls a week, that's 100 calls a week, or 20 phone calls a day is 100 calls a week. So if you do that, that's 400 touches right there. Then if you send out 2 emails a month and you have 100 people in your database, you're done. That's all it takes. Now, some people would say, well, I don't have enough people to call 20 people a day. Okay. Let's start with calling 20 people a day, and then I want you to go join the chamber. I want you to go to every ribbon cutting in town. I want you to join, the local wines club or the local Rotary club, and I want you to add every single person in there to your database, and I want you to schedule a one-on-one coffee with each one, not to tell them about you, but for you to find out about them and ask how you can give to their business. You don't ask someone for business before you ask how you can help their business. You give first, then you get in return.
Yeah.
So if you did those things, if you joined a local Rotary club in our area, the Rotary is really big, you would have 40 extra contacts right there.
That's insane. It's crazy to me that we haven't even really known each other. Mm-hmm. And you're running a little brokerage, not little, but
I am.
We're not like the big
Yeah,
people.
we're not big boys. Mm-hmm.
Right. And we're on the complete opposite sides of the country. And we're both saying the exact same
That's
things.
what you would say too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all you need to do is call, right? And then what's your why? Because it's so much easier to, I want to retire a parent, or I want to put my kids in college, or pay off debt. It's so much easier to be like, well, all you have to do is make 10 calls today.
Yeah, if you want to make
Don't
100 grand a year,
today.
touch 20 people today.
Right.
If you go to one Rotary Club luncheon, done. The next day, write them handwritten notes.
Right,
The
you can
next
do it
day,
in an
call.
hour.
It's not hard, but you have to do the do. Do the do, dude.
You got to do it.
Do the do.
You got to do the do. I wish we were on video. All right, Julie, you ready?
I'm ready.
What are the future plans as you look to expand your team?
Oh, goodness.
And what new approaches are you going to be using for looking for good, talented agents?
What I'm looking for is humble, hungry, and smart. The agents, I'm lucky, like you, I'm a producing broker. So I get to work with a lot of agents a year, about 100 a year. When I work with someone that handles business the way I handle business, I'm going to try to snatch them up every time.
That's the best way to do it. I was talking with my coach about that. I go,
Really?
why don't I just start listing and stop the recruiting and
Just start recruiting the ones on the other end of the deal.
the people that call me and ask me about my listings, I go, hey, how's your broker going?
That's a
Are you
strategy.
looking to grow your business?
There's one way to do it.
I asked a woman, she's been in our marketplace for a long time, and she's really respectable. She's been doing it for like 40 years. And I said, how are you doing it? Like, what's your secret? And she goes, you can never stop producing.
No
else. They
joke.
won't respect you at all.
No joke.
She's like, don't you dare stop selling. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never stop. What's your strategy?
I'm torn because like you said, you want to make sure the people that come, like the listings and the agents that do say, look, I believe in you and everything you're saying, I want to make sure that I'm whole on all the promises I made.
Yes.
So I've kind of, like you were telling me, I recruited a bunch of people to the boat and realized I need to fix the boat now.
Yeah.
So I need an onboarding system. I'm trying to leverage another person to take on all those questions, someone that can like spend all their time diving into the agents on. I think just like a listing, like there's a lot of things that someone else can train them on, how to write an agreement of sale, little things like that. And I think our job would be a lot better spent maybe with like the strategy around agreement of sale or how to present it, stuff like that. So right now I'm trying to get my system in line for when an agent comes on. So figuring out our onboarding, our trainings, so that it's not all relying on me. And then I don't know. I wonder if I should leverage out recruiting, but I don't think.
I think you're the secret sauce, Brian.
You think I should be involved in the recruiting meetings?
I do.
I think so too.
At this phase, I think we have to be.
And I think that when you're smaller, I think that we're kind of the gatekeepers of our culture, and to have a random person calling, like, and you, someone's there that they're not a good personality fit, it could ruin the whole thing.
Well, and like you said, we both have such a great culture. Like, we have to be protective of that.
That's what I'm scared of when I'm recruiting. When I'm leveraging someone else to do the calls for me or the meetings. That they would say something like, isn't it funny? Sometimes they come and they bash their old brokerage the whole time.
I know.
And I'm like,
and that always concerns me too.
Me too.
Because I'm thinking, if you're bashing them, tomorrow you're going to bash me.
And I've had agents, well, all they want me to do is call. And I'm like, well, they give us leads and we have to call them. And
maybe you should call them.
Right. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. Do you have any tactics in line for them to call you? I mean,
that's a great question.
Yeah. My thing with recruiting is I think I'm going to just call 5 people a day.
Okay.
Or call, text, or whatever.
Reach out.
5 people a day. And I'm also going to start we do a training every week. So I think once a month I'm going to open it up to the whole area.
That's a great idea.
Give me a way to email people and stuff. And then.
That's great.
Thank you. I was thinking we could like retarget the same audience that we invite with the videos, like clips of it. But
smart.
I don't know.
I think you have such smart ideas.
Thank you. I think you have such smart ideas.
Man, we're so smart.
Let's go back to Disney World.
Yay, Disney.
That's funny. All right. Well, I think that's all my questions. Let me see. Do you have any questions? No?
I don't think I have any questions, but this was
everything.
so much fun. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of your show.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I'm so excited. Julie and I are going tomorrow to a mastermind at Tom Ferry's house.
OMG.
Not to act cool or anything, but
we're going to Tom's house. What?
What do you hope to learn tomorrow?
I hope to keep my mouth shut and just listen.
That's what I'm going for too.
I want to learn from all the smart people that are around us and just get better and better.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I am too.
Well, we should do, if we can figure out how to like virtually do this, a recap podcast of how it went tomorrow.
I'll try to take good notes.
There we go.
That would be fun. Thanks for having me, Brian.
Yeah, thank you. And anyone, if you got any value out of this, please share our podcast with someone you think might benefit.